Heartwarming twins discover amazing baby rescue unbeknownst to them, he.s. the billionaire's long-lost child. The sun spilled golden light over the sleepy suburb of Maplewood, where twin sisters Lily and Grace thrived in a world filled with laughter, flowers, and the unshakable bond of sisterhood. At 12 years old, they were the embodiment of hard work and heart, spending their summer afternoons helping their mother at her charming little flower shop. The fragrant blooms danced in the breeze, spreading joy to families who gathered for cookouts and spirited 4th of July parades. But amidst the vibrant petals, a storm cloud loomed: financial struggles that pressed heavily on their mother's shoulders. One Saturday morning, as scents of fresh coffee wafted over from the bakery down the street, the girls skipped their way to the local church for a charity drive they eagerly volunteered for. In their minds, it was an opportunity to make a difference, to help the community that had given them so much. But fate had a different plan. As they approached the church steps, their hearts skipped a beat. Nestled in a basket was a tiny, abandoned baby, his face scrunched up but adorable, an innocent life awaiting love. Lily's mouth fell open. "We can't just leave him here." Grace looked at her sister with eyes full of resolve. "We have to take him home. Until someone comes for him." They hurriedly scooped up the baby, whispering sweet nothings as they cradled him against their chests. The pulsing rhythm of their hearts filled their lungs with warmth and fierce determination. But little did they know, this tiny miracle was the long-lost child of a billionaire, distanced from his luxurious life by family drama and societal expectations. As they huddled together, planning how to care for their new friend, whispers spread through Maplewood. The neighborhood buzzed like a hive of bees, gossip rippling through the bakery and echoing down Main Street. "Can you believe those girls? What are they thinking, adopting a random baby?" Lily and Grace's mother tried to shake off the tension, maintaining her stoic strength despite the concerned glances of well-to-do socialites. But each judgmental look felt like daggers, stirring a deep indignation within the girls. But with grit, they declared war on the negativity. "Lily, we should start a community service initiative," Grace suggested, a fire igniting in her eyes. "Let us bring everyone together. We're all part of Maplewood." Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. The initiative took off like wildfire, but the criticism didn't fade. The twins were painted as misguided do-gooders, their modest means questioned. Despite the turbulence, their resolve grew stronger. But on a fateful evening, a knock on the door transformed their world forever. Standing there, shrouded in an air of urgency, was the billionaire himself, his eyes filled with desperation and regret. "Where is he?" His voice was a low rumble, tears shimmering on the edges. In that moment, Lily and Grace felt the weight of the world tremble around them. How would they face the very man whose past intersected so pathlessly with their innocent intentions? As the air thickened with emotion, they stood at the crossroads, family values colliding with the ambitions of wealth. Would they be able to protect their newfound family, or would the judgment of society rip their lives apart once again? The question lingered, pulling at their hearts, and leaving them to wonder what cherries of strength and love they would have to muster to defend their colorful bond. As the billionaire's gaze flickered from the twins to the tiny bundle cradled in their arms, a silent storm of emotions played across his face. Confusion gave way to desperation. His hands trembled slightly as he approached, and Lily found herself stepping protectively closer to Grace and their new friend. I'm sorry," the man stammered, his voice thick with an emotion neither girl could decipher. "I've been searching for him, but I thought he was lost for good." The weight of the moment hung heavily in the air. Lily's heart raced. She exchanged a quick glance with Grace, whose eyes were wide with shock but also with a flicker of sympathy. This man bore the weight of 1,000 regrets, and somehow, they felt that. Why was he left at the church? Grace finally asked, breaking the shaky silence. The billionaire took a breath, grounding himself. It was a mistake, a tragic mistake that tore my family apart. I never wanted to lose him. His mother he trailed off, and emotion swelled in his eyes once again. The twins could sense his struggle, a mixture of guilt and longing, and it tugged tenderly at their hearts. We want to help him, Lily said softly, stepping forward just slightly. He means a lot to us already. As tentative as her words were, they seemed to pull the billionaire back from the depths of despair. A flicker of gratitude crossed his expression. You're brave, you know. Most would have just walked away. It's not bravery, Grace said, looking straight into his eyes. It's love. He deserves to be loved and cared for, no matter what. Just like any other child. A spark lit in the billionaire's eyes. This time, it was hope. If you'll let me, I want to be a part of his life too. I want to make up for lost time. There was an honesty in his words, a raw ache for redemption. Yet, the world outside their haven of warmth in the small living room felt cold and judgmental. Could they trust him? Would the community accept this man that would inevitably shift their lives forever? Before they could voice their thoughts, the door swung open again, this time revealing their mother. Her eyes fell on the scene, her daughters, a stranger with desperation written all over him, and the small baby that had become their world. What is going on here? She asked, her voice a mixture of surprise and warning. Lily felt her heart pounding. She had imagined this moment would go perfectly, with everybody on board for their new family endeavor. Instead, she felt like a ship caught at sea in a sudden storm, swaying between fear and hope. Would their mother understand? Would she believe in the good in the billionaire, or would she pull them away from him like a drowning child? Mom, Grace began, her voice shaking. We have to explain. With tears forming in their mother's eyes, she looked at the two girls and then back at the man who had just knocked on their door, her expression rapidly shifting from incredulity to something akin to cautious acceptance. Preserving their fragile bond felt more urgent than ever as the door stood ajar to endless possibilities. The twins exchanged a glance filled with unspoken promises. It was time to stand together, no matter the odds. Can we convince her? Lily thought nervously, but the answer emerged in her heart, wrapped in love and tenacity. The moment stretched, each heartbeat echoing hope and fear, as they prepared to dive into the whirlwind that awaited them, but as the conversation unfolded, not just in their home, but in the buzzing community around them, would their intentions withstand the scrutiny? The little baby they had saved had become a bridge between their simple world and the complexities of wealth and regret. What truths lay hidden in the shadows, waiting to intertwine their lives more deeply than they ever imagined? Their mother stepped further into the living room, her brow furrowed in thought. The air felt thick, almost electric, as she tried to process the unexpected scene. What is happening? She demanded, struggling to mask her concern. Mom, please, Grace pleaded, her hands clutching the baby closer. We found him. He was left at the church, and this man he is his father. With that simple statement, the chaos of emotions swirled in the room. The billionaire shifted uncomfortably, the weight of his own confession hanging heavily. I didn't mean for any of this to happen. I only want to make things right. Lily watched her mother carefully. Would she see the wounded man before her, or only the title that accompanied him? He is hurting, Mom. Just like we are for that little guy, she added softly, hoping to ignite the flicker of compassion they had seen moments ago. Their mother was quiet, her gaze flitting between her daughters and the stranger. 100 thoughts danced behind her eyes. What do you know about him? She finally asked, her tone more measured, yet fraught with protectiveness. He has been searching. He really loves him, Grace interjected, the intensity in her voice bringing an urgency that resonated in the silence. We want to give him a chance. Please believe us, Mom. Lily's heart raced at the chance their mother might come around. But she prepared herself for the alternative. What if their mother couldn't see what they saw? The flicker of hope and desperation. Taking a breath, their mother spoke again, this time more quietly. I need to know you're serious. That you won't just walk away when things get complicated. The billionaire straightened, visibly shaken but resolute. I promise, I want to be involved. No matter what the future holds. I've already lost too much. His voice trailed off, and it was clear he knew the deep scars left behind by mistakes. Tears shimmered in their mother's eyes as she took a step closer. She reached out, uncertainty clear in her gestures. This isn't just about you or even the baby. He deserves a family that's stable, that won't hurt him. Exactly. Lily rushed to applause her mother's insight. That's why we need to stick together. We can do this as a family. Their mother took a deep breath, visible tension radiating from her. With all my heart, I want to protect you both. The world can be cruel, especially for someone like him. Let us try, please, Grace said, her voice thick with emotion. I know it's a risk, but he deserves a chance. All of us do. For a long moment, silence cloaked the room. The heartbeat of the baby was like a tender reminder of new beginnings, floating softly in the space between hope and fear. This was a fragile moment. Finally, their mother nodded slowly, her resolve softening. Okay, we can try. But you will both need to promise me you will be careful. A wave of relief washed over the girls, their hearts swelling with gratitude. Thank you. Thank you, Mom. But just as hope began to take root, the billionaire's phone buzzed in his pocket, a bright screen cutting through the dim tension in the room. His expression hardened. I need to take this. Work is demanding my attention. Lily felt the air grow heavy again. Who else would intrude into their fragile space now? She glanced at Grace, who wore a worried expression. Was this new life they envisioned already under threat? Go ahead, their mother said gently, her voice soothing and yet commanding. We'll be right here. As the billionaire stepped aside, the twins exchanged anxious looks. They could feel the gravity of the moment pressing down. Could they really navigate this new family dynamic, especially when the world outside their home felt so chaotic? As he walked away, Lily turned to Grace, her tone barely a whisper. What if it's not just about us anymore? What if this opens a door we can't close? Gripped by uncertainty and the echoes of new beginnings, they waited, hoping the promise of love would carry them through whatever storms loomed ahead. Little did they know, the true upheaval was still to come, lurking just on the horizon, ready to shake the very foundation of their newfound connections. Would their love withstand the trials ahead? Lily's heart pounded as she watched the billionaire step into the hallway, his back a tense line of uncertainty. Every moment he was out of sight felt like an eternity, each tick of the clock echoing the weight of their new reality. Grace shifted the baby in her arms, a tiny boy who had already wrapped his delicate fingers around their hearts. Do you think he is actually serious? She wondered aloud, her brow furrowed with concern. Or is this just some kind of publicity stunt? Lily bit her lip, fighting an impulse to assure her sister. I want to believe he is, she finally replied. But the world can be so complicated. Their mother watched them, her expression a mix of weariness and determination. We've made a decision, she reminded them gently. Now we need to observe closely. Trust takes time. Just then, the billionaire returned, his face shadowed by a cloud of worry. He glanced briefly at the baby, then back at the twins and their mother. I'm sorry, this is a lot to take in, he sighed, raking a hand through his hair. I had to handle something urgent. Please, let us not let distractions get in our way. I know it's a mess, Grace interrupted, her voice rising slightly. But you can't just pick and choose when to show up. We need you, especially now. This baby he can't be another item on a to-do list. Lily felt a surge of solidarity with her sister. They were fighting for this little guy, for a chance at a family full of love instead of heartache. "We're in this together," she chimed in. "You said you love him. Show us that." The billionaire glanced down, guilt written across his face. "You're right, I'm not sure how to be a father," he admitted, vulnerability breaking through his polished exterior. "I've spent so much time building my career that I forgot what it means to hold someone dear." "Then start with the basics," their mother interjected softly, trying to bring the emotional temperature down. "Spend time with him. Learn. Don't you see? Everything you do matters," Grace added, holding the baby a little closer. "You have one chance to make this right." Lily held her breath, waiting for his response. She could see the glimmer of hope in his eyes, mixed with fear. Perhaps he was beginning to realize just how deeply connected they all were, bound by the fragile life in Grace's arms. "I'll do it," he said suddenly, his voice steady. "I'll do whatever it takes." Relief washed over the sisters. They shared a glance, a silent agreement to support him as he stepped cautiously into fatherhood, but the billionaire's phone buzzed again, interrupting the fragile moment they had just forged. A frown crossed his face as he glanced at the screen. "I need to take this," he said, almost apologetically. "It's my assistant." "There's something critical." Lily's heart sank as the gravity of their situation crept back in. "Can't you just—" she started, but the words faded as he stepped away again. The space he left felt cold, almost alien. "What if he can't choose between us and his career?" Grace whispered, her voice trembling. "We'll have to make him realize it's not just about him anymore. This baby, this is our chance." Lily clutched her sister's arm, needing to ground herself amidst the storm of emotions. "Your chance," their mother interjected with a steady glance. "It's up to all of us to help him make that choice." In the stillness, they heard the soft coos of the baby, a sound that filled the room with warmth. But as the moment stretched, a tension brewed just beneath the surface, an unspoken understanding that the path ahead would not be easy. The door creaked open and the billionaire re-entered, his expression grave, every line on his face etched deep with worry, as if he carried the weight of their entire future on his shoulders. "I just got news I might have to leave town again," he said cautiously, his voice unsteady. The air grew thick once more, and the promise of unity they had just built felt precarious. Could they really hold on to this hope they had chased, in a world where everything seemed to be falling apart? The room held its breath as they stared at him, waiting for what his next words would mean for all of them. Would love be strong enough to battle the imminent storm? Lily felt her breath hitch, the words hanging in the air like an unwelcome guest. The way he delivered the news, tentative and fragile, made it clear that he understood the stakes. Fear crept back in, tugging at the edges of their makeshift family. "He can't leave again, not now," Grace said, her voice barely a whisper. She tightened her hold on the baby, as if keeping him close could somehow anchor them all. Their mother stood tall, narrowing her eyes slightly. "What do you mean by leave town? For how long?" She stepped towards him, her protective instincts ignited. The billionaire glanced down, preparing to explain a situation that felt too personal to share. "There's a business emergency, a deal I've been working on for months. They need my presence." I thought it might wait, but he rubbed his temples, clearly torn. "I can't just walk away." A heavy silence enveloped the room as whispers of doubt flickered among them. "Eli," Lily started, her voice trembling slightly as she ventured forth. "You just said you would do whatever it takes. Don't you understand? This baby is counting on you. We're counting on you." He raised his gaze to meet hers, the flicker of determination beginning to spark. "I didn't intend to abandon you," he said tightly. "But this business, it matters. It's my life." "Life?" Grace interjected, her voice rising with frustration. "What about this little life? How is he any less important?" Lily felt the tension crackling, an electric connection binding them together for this moment. They were not only afraid for themselves but for the fragile existence of the baby nestled between them. "I'm trying, I swear," the billionaire finally said, his hands clenched into fists at his side. But I need to figure this out. It's complicated. Complicated? Grace let out, her voice breaking. We're all complicated. But you can't use business as an excuse. You can't let it overshadow the most important thing here, family. His expression was softening, but doubt still lingered in his eyes. What if I miss out on more important moments? I'd rather face a hostile boardroom meeting than see my son grow without me, even if it's just one night. Their mother took a step closer, her voice calm but filled with steely resolve. The world won't stop for business deals. This is about choosing to show love. If you want this baby, if you want us, you need to prioritize. Silence hung heavy like a storm cloud. The baby cooed softly, blissfully unaware of the tension around him, a beacon of innocence that only heightened the situation. I'll work it out, the billionaire finally said, his resolve strengthening. I'll find a way to balance what I need to do. I promise I won't leave you all alone to bear this weight. But you have to mean it. Grace exclaimed, determination igniting in her eyes. It's not just about promises, it's about actions. Lily drew in a breath, the knot in her stomach slowly unwinding as she sensed a shift within him. Let us figure this out together. You can show us how you plan to do it. And we'll support you. Eli nodded, an unspoken understanding passing between them. The weight didn't lift entirely, but a hint of hope glimmered. After a long pause, the billionaire looked around the room, his expression reflecting the gravity of their situation. This isn't going to be easy for any of us, is it? Nothing worth having ever is, Lily said softly, feeling her heart swell with a mix of fear and hope. As they exchanged silent glances, the serenity of the baby's cooing filled the room. An unbreakable bond started to forge, and they realized they were all stepping into the unknown together, but just then, Eli's phone buzzed once more, shattering their quiet moment. He frowned as he glanced at the screen, his eyes darting upward as if a storm cloud rolled in over their fragile peace. I'm sorry, he murmured, dimming the sparks of hope. I need to take this call. As he stepped away again, the warmth of hope began to dissipate, leaving behind the chill of uncertainty. Would they ever truly find balance in this new dynamic? The door creaked in the stillness, taking with it Lily's hopes and the realization that this battle was just beginning. Lily watched as Eli stepped away, his back tense and rigid. The moment felt fragile, the unspoken words hanging thick in the air. She glanced at Grace, who was still cradling the baby. Their mother stood nearby, her expression a mix of concern and vigilance. They could feel it, the uneasy shift back into their separate worlds as he struggled to balance business with family. What if he doesn't come back? Grace whispered, her voice trembling. She pushed loose strands of hair behind her ear, her eyes shimmering with unshed tears. He will, Lily replied, but doubt gnawed at her. The sweet, innocent coo of the baby, nestled against Grace's shoulder, reminded her that this tiny life depended on all of them. He has to. Their mother stepped closer to Grace, gently stroking the baby's fuzzy head. Remember, love requires action, not just words. It's going to take all of us to keep this family wrapped in security. A lump formed in Lily's throat. The baby had become their light, a symbol of everything good they desperately wanted to protect. She yearned to believe Eli would find a way to prioritize them, but the uncertainty loomed. Across the room, Eli's voice could be heard faintly, sharp at times, frustrated, maybe even scared. She caught words like emergency and deadline. Were they really that easy to toss aside, even for someone she thought was committed to this tight-knit circle they were trying to form? He is hesitating again, Grace murmured, straining to catch more of Eli's conversation. He thinks that deal is more important than us. It's not, Lily said, firming her resolve. We're the ones who matter, not the business. And we need to remind him of that. Just then, Eli returned to the room, the urgent energy still radiating from him. His eyes darted between the two women and the baby, as if searching for validation, for an assurance that he was still a part of this family despite the complicated situation outside. I'll figure this out. His tone was resolute, though a hint of uncertainty simmered just beneath. The deal is vital for my business, but I won't let it define me. I want to be here. Grace looked at him, her eyes piercing. Then show us that you mean what you say. We can support you, but it's a two-way street. I promise, Eli stated, his voice firmer now. Lily stepped forward, feeling a newfound connection. We just want to know that you're here for us and that you really see what's at stake. Our little family is what matters. They could feel their mother's watchful presence behind them, a reminder that they had fought for this very moment to stand together. Eli opened his mouth to speak, but the phone buzzed in his pocket again, cutting through the weighty atmosphere. His fingers hovered above the screen, hesitating, almost as if he wanted to reject it, but he couldn't. I need to take this, he mumbled, retreating once more, and with every step away, the precious warmth of their shared unity felt distant. Lily turned towards Grace and their mother, her heart aching with the desperation of remaining strong. Maybe this is the moment. He needs to realize what he stands to lose if he keeps pushing us away. Grace squeezed the baby tighter against her. We can't lose hope. He's not just some businessman, he's part of this. We have to believe he'll see what's in front of him. Lily nodded, but her resolve flickered as Eli exited the room. Would he come back with a deeper understanding? Or would the distance between them widen? With the tension thick in the air, the baby began to whimper, and Lily rushed to soothe him, feeling the weight of their world echoing in those soft cries. The future felt uncertain, but their connection and love drew them closer. Then, without warning, Eli returned, looking as if he'd seen a ghost. Something has come up. I can't leave right now. I need to talk to you both. Lily's heart raced. What did that mean? What revelation was about to unfold before them? The fine line between hope and despair tightened, and suddenly, everything was on the edge. Was this the moment they had been anticipating, or was it the beginning of another storm? Lily's chest tightened as she took a step closer, her mind racing through the possibilities. A million questions flooded her thoughts, but one echoed louder than the rest. Why couldn't Eli leave? Eli's face was pale, almost as if he had been drained of color. The confidence he had just shown seemed to evaporate as he stood before them, breathless. I just got off the phone with someone from the office. We've hit a snag with the deal. They're threatening to pull out if we don't meet their new timeline. Grace's grip on the baby tightened, a silent anchor in the storm brewing between them. But what does that mean? Can't you just negotiate? Eli's eyes darted away, his body tense. It's complicated, Grace. I can try, but if I fail, the implication hung heavy in the air, like a dark cloud threatening rain. Lily felt a swell of anger rise within her. This isn't just business, Eli. You're putting us all at risk just because of some numbers on a screen. I know. He shot back, his voice laced with frustration. But if I don't get this deal, the company will suffer. I'll be letting everyone down. This is my responsibility. What about your responsibility to us? Grace interjected. Her voice was soft yet firm, cutting through the tension. We're here too, Eli. Our family matters just as much. Eli rubbed a hand over his face as a wave of guilt washed over him. I didn't mean to neglect you. I thought I could manage both, but now it feels impossible. Lily took a breath, feeling the weight of their collective worry. She wanted to break through the wall Eli had built around himself. We know you care. We just want to be a part of it. Can't you at least talk to us about what is going on? We could help, maybe brainstorm ideas. The silence that followed was deafening. Eli's gaze shifted to the baby, who had now stopped crying, content and unaware of the heavy atmosphere surrounding him. The tension pulled at their hearts, but breathed life into their resolve. Finally, Eli nodded, though the uncertainty lingered in his eyes. Okay. Let us talk. He stepped forward and sat down, pulling one of the chairs closer to them. Grace shifted in her place, bringing the baby down to rest in her arms, the small being that seemed to hold their world together. The flicker of hope returned, igniting a spark in the dim room. As Eli began explaining the intricacies of the deal, the numbers, the risks, the timelines, Lily felt a renewed sense of unity wash over them. They were nerves exposed, vulnerable yet strong. They were discussing not just business but their lives, their future, but in the back of her mind, a nagging worry whispered. What if the deal was a distraction? What if the heart of their family was at stake, overshadowed by ambition? The more Eli spoke, the more the weight of his responsibility seemed to crush his spirit. He glanced at Lily and Grace, as if he was searching for reassurance, but the truth lay just beneath the surface. And then, suddenly, his phone buzzed on the table again. It sounded loud in the silence. He reached for it, but then hesitated. "Please, don't." Lily whispered, her heart racing. Would he choose the call or them? Eli looked at them, his face a mixture of conflict and determination. The air crackled with anticipation as they all held their breath, waiting to see which path he would take. Would they finally overcome this hurdle together, or would Eli slip through their fingers again? The answer hung in the balance, pulsating with the weight of unspoken decisions and the fragility of their hope. Eli took a deep breath, his fingers hovering over the buzzing phone. He could feel the pressure building in the room, almost tangible. With every passing second, it became harder to ignore the call, like a coach shouting from the sidelines, urging him to focus on the game. "I'm sorry," he muttered, glancing at Lily and Grace. "I should have turned off my phone." "Just answer it," Lily said, her voice steadied by desperation. "If that's what you're juggling, then we need to know where you stand." With a flick of his thumb, Eli accepted the call, pressing the phone to his ear. "Hello." He listened intently, nodding occasionally, though the lines on his forehead deepened. The hushed voice on the other side sounded authoritative, cold. Eli's jaw tightened as he spoke. "I understand, but more time no." Grace interrupted, her anxiety boiling over. "Don't let them intimidate you. You're more than just some deadline. This isn't about that." Eli's eyes darted to her, frustration and gratitude mingling on his face. He wanted to defend himself, yet he saw the willingness to fight for him reflected in Grace's gaze. "I have to take a moment, Eli," Lily urged. "We can't let them dictate our lives. What does the deal really mean for us?" Eli shifted, the phone still pressed against his ear. "I need to finish this," he started, but the firm assertiveness in Grace's posture silenced him. The voice on the other end grew impatient, sensing Eli's hesitation. "Eli, we really can't wait. If you want to salvage this, I suggest you get back to the office ASAP." The tension surged, choking the air. Eli's heart raced as he snapped the phone shut, anger bubbling beneath the surface. "They're threatening to pull out. I can't lose this deal." His voice echoed, sharp like glass, and he regretted the heat of his words as he saw Grace's shoulders slump. "But at what cost, Eli?" Lily asked gently. "What if this pushes us all away? Just look at us. I don't want to lose you or what we have. I don't want to lose you either." He shouted, palms smacking down on the table. The baby stirred, a little whimper escaping his lips, and Grace immediately cradled him closer, calming him with soft, sweet whispers. The atmosphere turned thick with unresolved emotions. For a moment, Eli felt trapped between duty and love. His brain raced through every scenario. The deal could mean security, not just for him, but for their family. Yet, it came with a price that felt increasingly steep. He stepped back, running a hand through his hair, guilt rushing in like an unwanted tide. "What if I mess this all up?" He breathed out, looking at the soft glow of Grace's eyes. "What if I can't fix this, and I ruin everything?" Silence filled the space, heavy and suffocating. Hearts paused, hope flickering. Then a tiny hand grasped Eli's finger, the baby's touch lingering longer than he expected. His pulse slowed, and Eli felt warmth swelling in his chest. Life was in these moments, not mere transactions on spreadsheets. Grace glanced up, her gaze penetrating. You have to choose, Eli. Either you're all in here with us or you're walking a tightrope that could break. As Eli processed her words, he felt the weight of the call reconnecting with the tender clutches of family. But still, uncertainty gnawed at him. What would that choice mean for his career? Or for them? As he opened his mouth, ready to speak, his phone buzzed again, a lifeline pulling him back into that world. The noise filled the stillness, and once again, he faced the choice between family love and professional ambition. The next few moments would shape their future. What will he choose? Lily wondered aloud, her heart pounding with the hope that this time, he would choose them. Eli's heart thudded in his chest as the phone buzzed again, tearing through the fragile silence that enveloped them. He stared at it, the weight of the world pulling his gaze down. Grace's eyes were bright, expectant, like she was holding her breath, and all Eli could think about was the looming deadline that felt like a cloud casting shadows over his family. Eli, Grace's voice pierced through his internal chaos. You can't answer that, not now. We need you here with us. I know, he whispered, a mix of anguish and determination swirling within him. But what if this is our only shot? What if I'm letting you all down if I don't take it? Lily reached out, her fingertips brushing his arm. But what if you're letting us down by choosing it? She replied softly, pulling him back into the moment. We can find a way to make this work together. The baby stirred in Grace's arms, looking up with wide, innocent eyes, blissfully unaware of the weighty decisions swirling around him. Eli found himself lost in that gaze, a spark of clarity illuminating the dark corners of his mind. Eli, Grace's voice softened as she moved the baby just a bit closer. What matters more? A deal that could collapse tomorrow or us, your family? He swallowed hard, knowing this wasn't just about him. It was about every milestone they would face together, every laughter shared around the dinner table, every bedtime story that wouldn't be told if he chose ambition over home. I don't want to just chase some deal, Eli said finally as clarity washed over him. But I just feel like I have to prove myself. There's always been pressure to succeed. Grace nodded, something softening in her expression. Then prove yourself by being here. Show them that your life isn't just about numbers, but love and choosing family. In that instant, he felt a warmth spread through him, realization chasing away confusion. He was tired of chasing something that could never fulfill him. As he took a deep breath, he picked up the phone, glancing at the name flashing across the screen. He hesitated. It would be so easy to slip back into that world, the world that demanded deadlines over devotion. But was that truly who he wanted to be? Stone-like determination crept into his voice as he pressed the button to decline the call. I can't keep doing this. I choose you both. The words felt liberating, echoing within him. Grace's eyes sparkled, and Lily exhaled deeply, relief flooding the room. Eli felt the heaviness begin to lift as he moved closer to them, the three of them knitted together in that fragile moment of connection, a testament to the power of love. We'll figure it out together, Grace said, her words grounding him further. Just as Eli started to relax, another ping broke through the brief calm. His phone buzzed yet again, a message this time. A notification that lit up like a small explosion among the quiet that he glanced at the screen, his heart suddenly racing. The notification was from the company's head office, but the message read, important changes in leadership. Eli's brow furrowed, and dread seeped back in. What does this mean? He murmured, fear creeping back into his chest. Lily's voice was calm but filled with urgency. Whatever it is, we can handle it together. But doubt crawled back into Eli's mind, gnawing at him. Did he just make the biggest mistake of his life by choosing to walk away? What would this surprise change mean for his family and the fragile peace he had just fought for? As the reality of his decision settled in, Eli felt a storm brewing. Something told him the answer would come crashing down faster than he could prepare for. Eli stared at the phone, his brow knitted in worry. The message felt like a bombshell dropped into their fragile moment. But as he caught the warmth of Grace's and Lily's hands, he realized the true weight of his choice. For the first time in too long, reality fell into clarity. Love and family mattered far more than corporate pressures. "I'm done running," he declared, determination rising within him. "No more choosing business over family," he vowed. "I need you both to understand that." The tension in the room shifted under his words, blossoming with unspoken support. Grace smiled, a glimmer of pride shining in her eyes. "That's the first step. Together, we'll navigate whatever comes next. But there are still responsibilities." Eli took a deep breath, recalling the professional world he'd been enmeshed in for years. "I want to set things right, balance it all. Maybe I can step back and still prove myself. I don't know how. But I'll fight to find a way," he whispered, a familiar resolve washing over him. Just then, the baby cooed, and the sound wrapped around their words like a thread of hope. Eli looked at the tiny face, a reminder of innocence and a future yet to be shaped. "You deserve to grow up surrounded by love, not a man trapped in a boardroom," he told the baby, tears welling in his eyes. Their mother, who had been quietly observing, stepped closer, placing a hand on Eli's shoulder. "We can make it work too," she said softly. "It starts here. Family is built on trust and time, and we're all ready to invest in each other, no matter the challenges." Eli nodded, the comforting weight of their support strong enough to quell any lingering uncertainties. "I want to be present. I want to hold him, share moments that aren't lost in the noise of a ringing phone." Just then, the message notification erupted again from his phone, insistent and relentless. Eli hesitated, his gut twisting. He instinctively reached for it but stopped. "No more distractions. This isn't about them. It's about us," he stated firmly, slipping the phone into his back pocket. Lily caught his eye, a sparkle of belief flickering in her gaze. "There's no pressure that can overshadow your role as a dad. Trust yourself." The warmth in the room felt electric with hope. The future was indeed uncertain, but for the first time, it felt shared. With a child to love, a summit of family to climb together awaited them. "I'm in," Eli stated confidently. "Let us face whatever storm comes as a family." Their hands linked together in solidarity, forming a circle of resilience and hope, as their mother gathered close to warm them further. Suddenly, laughter bubbled up from the baby, a joyous sound echoing in the quiet space. Everyone paused, smiles breaking through the tension. "It's like he knows," Grace exclaimed, her heart brightening as though the laughter were a beacon, signaling the beginning of a new path carved from love and unity. And so, together in that soft-lit living room, they faced the unpredictable waves of life that flew at them, connected by this little boy destined to bridge their worlds. They stepped out, hearts intertwined in unwavering belief that together, they would create a haven of love unlike any other. The barriers of doubt faded, and instead emerged determination and laughter, instilling the air with the promise of new beginnings. As the sun dipped low outside, it was casting colors across the horizon, a glorious start to countless tomorrows together. Now, here's your chance to be part of this incredible journey. You need to subscribe now to our channel so you don't miss the amazing new stories coming up next. Leave a like right now to energize the algorithm and spread the word. Comment below with your feelings about this emotional conclusion and share in the joy. And don't wait not even one more second, share this video with at least 5 friends who truly need to witness this beautiful transformation. Your support means the world to us and helps build this thriving community. Let us keep this love story alive together.